Welcome, welcome everyone. Welcome to tonight's call. Excited to have you guys on. As we get started, please turn on your cameras. Love to interact with you guys. We tried to keep these small, intimate, really get a chance to get to know each other, ask questions live. I have a very special guest tonight in our co-founder, Julie Muse, who I've been able to pull out and say, hey, Julie, I know you're busy helping out our current partners with their deals, but wanted to take this opportunity to have folks who are looking into working with us really get a chance to see behind the scenes how we underwrite deals, how we look
hmm
at deals, because at the end of the day, like our founder Peter says, we are judged by the number of deals that we do. So today, again, really an opportunity to have you, maybe if you have a deal yourself, hey, bring it on, bring it on. Julie will kind of tackle it, look at it through her lenses, if you will. But before we get into all that, Elise, please turn on your cameras, introduce yourselves in the chat. Love to kind of see who's here. Hey, Sean, good to see you, buddy. Love that you're here. Is it pronounced Daco, Daco, iPhone? I'm sure I'm butchering that. But please correct me, and you can call me Ronald from the whole week, the whole session, since I pronounced your name incorrectly. Robert, thank you for turning on your camera. Good to see you. I know we were just talking prior to joining on here. Cruz, thank you for turning on your camera, sir. We got Matthew, welcome, welcome. Kurt's iPad 2, lovely. Viviana Campo, how are you? Welcome, welcome. Thank you for turning on your camera. Again, in the chat, just to get familiar with how we're going to communicate tonight, drop in where you're from. Love to kind of see where people are located all across the country. We are literally some aloha. Are you from Hawaii? If so, love it. I'd love a reason to visit to give you a one-on-one training and support. Chelsea from, of course, from Florida, and we have Gastonia. Was that North Carolina? Where's my chat box? I can't. It's going by quick. I'm telling people to use the chat, Julie. I'm not even looking at it.
Yeah,
We got
yeah.
Curtis
Shape
from
up,
Lakeland.
Bolin.
Rookie move, right? Of course, Chelsea from Miami. And then we have Viviana from Miami as well. Okay, nice, nice. Matthew from Denver, Colorado. And Matthew, my mother-in-law just visited here. Um, they're out in Monument, if you know where that is, closer to Colorado Springs. So we frequent there every once in a while. Um, Okay, Rosa Beach, love it. San Antonio. Hey, Julie, we are literally all across the US and really just kind of gives you a sample size of how powerful real estate can be. And really that no matter where you live in the country, real estate can be done.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And it's just a matter of finding the right deal. So, Julie, again, I appreciate you being here tonight. As we wait for folks to kind of hop on, how are things kind of in your neck of the woods? And again, I appreciate your time. I know how busy you
And
are helping out our
I'll tell
partners.
you, I'm excited about this week, and I'll tell you why. Because sometimes, we're going to be talking about renovations, right, today, about what makes a deal, what doesn't make a deal. And I'm in Louisiana right this minute. I just so happen to have what they call it a camp, instead of like a house. But it's kind of like a second home here in Louisiana. But I've got two flips here in Louisiana that's going to be finished this week. One in New Orleans and one in Baton Rouge. Actually, the one in Baton Rouge better be done tonight. Hopefully, I'll get photos. um, so that's what I'm doing. It's always a good week when you see some of these deals come to fruition, get to the end here. And really, what I wanted to do is kind of give an opportunity for everybody on this call. If you currently have a real estate deal and you want me to take a look at it and kind of look at it how we look at it through partner driven, I do not mind to analyze a deal live in front of everybody. Guys, in real estate, houses that you don't own or that you don't live in are not emotional and never should be emotional. The moment you start getting emotional about a house that isn't yours, I can promise you you're close to losing money. So, what I would like to do is maybe analyze some deals with that some of you guys are working on, and that way you have an idea of exactly what we do. Also, I brought one with me that we're about to buy this week in beautiful Nashville, Tennessee. It's got a lot of moving parts. It's a really good profit on this deal with a decently large renovation in hand. So I want everybody to kind of see the photos, the home inspection, the bid, the whole 9 yards. And if you are new to real estate, maybe learn something about, renovations and kind of what you should do there, because a lot of people are always like, well, what's the interest rate and what's this? Listen, interest rates don't lose money. Let me tell you what loses money is renovations. So understanding the true cost of renovations, not getting emotional about the work being done on these properties is a surefire way to make money in this business. So I'm looking forward to tonight. I always am excited to talk about real deals, something that's not conceptual, because hey, listen, here at Partner Driven, we're looking for partners who we can buy houses with, right? And renovate and resell, as well as a couple other strategies. So super excited, Roland, tonight to meet some of our future partners.
Yeah, absolutely, Julie. And on that note, regardless of kind of where you are in your real estate journey, if you're brand new, never done a deal, looking to finally get started, or if you've done a number of deals, have been in real estate for quite some time, and you're looking to scale, no matter where you fall into that spectrum, we definitely have something here in store for you. Is that right, Julie? I mean, we have people from all walks of life. We've got a
Yeah.
Jerry and Chad with over 200 rentals. We got folks who are brand new, never done a deal, but just need someone to kind of help guide them because there's a whole lot of moving parts to all this, which I'm excited that again, you're going to give us a behind the scenes look of a real live deal. And again, folks, if you do have any deals, now would be the best time. We typically don't do this. We typically reserve our time, energy, and efforts for our partners within the network. So definitely an opportunity. So Julie, take it
Yeah,
away.
let
Let
me
me
let
know,
me kind of go through some things, and then I'm
please.
gonna I'm gonna show some deals. So here's some key things that we need to know if we're gonna discuss a deal. Okay. Um, Number one, ARV. So if you've never heard ARV, that is after repair value. So once the house is fully fixed up, what could it sell for? Okay. Now you could go many different ways with an ARV, because sometimes you don't have to do a complete renovation to get a certain price. Because when you're looking to sell a house, sometimes you could do a little bit of work and make money, or sometimes you could do a lot of work and make money. And believe it or not, sometimes it doesn't pay you more to do more work. Okay, so it's important that you know where you are there with the ARV. Also, a couple things I'd written down before this call, which is loan requirements. So since we are buying, fixing, and selling houses, and we have very little people on the call tonight, which is awesome. I like this. So let's make this interactive. Who do you think are the people that mostly buy the houses that we flip? Is it other investors? Is it homeowners? Who do we think that is? If you were to buy, fix, and sell a house, who do you think your buyers would be on the back end?
I
Adrian?
thought it was going to be an investor group, if I may speak.
Yeah, it could be if we're wholesaling, but generally, if we're going to be buying, fixing, and selling, we're going to be going after homeowners. Right
Okay.
now, if I'm wholesaling, I'm probably wholesaling to an investor. But if I'm going to fully fix up and renovate the house, it's going to be to a homeowner. Thank you, guys. Now, here's some things to think about. It's not just the price that it sells for. Think about if you are a homeowner on the back end, and probably almost everybody on this call has bought a house before. Okay. Generally, most of us don't have cash to just go put down on a house, do we? Right? So we're going to be getting a loan from a bank. So there's a couple different loan options there, which are FHA, VA loans, and conventional loans. There's other ones out there, but those are the main ones. Usually, if you're getting an FHA, a VA, or a conventional loan, there are certain things about the house that has to be done for them to actually like lend money on the home. So you can't just go fix up a house and say, hey, I want it to look pretty. You've got to fix everything, right? So you can't just like not know what those requirements are, because if it's got an old roof, that's not going to fly. If the HVAC system's old, it's not going to fly. The same with plumbing, electrical, foundations, the whole nine yards. So one rule of thumb that I always tell people is you always fix what's wrong before you fix what's ugly. Like, anybody watch those shows on HGTV? I always get tickled about those shows because it's always about design aspects. Believe it or not, that is this much. That matters about this much in this game. What really matters in this game is getting the house back to a sound home for someone to buy so that it's financeable. Not to mention, I take a lot of pride in the fact that, hey, guess what? Money's not easy to come by, is it? I don't want to give somebody a product that I wouldn't live in myself. So I take great pride in knowing that houses that we renovate to sell or our partners, your name matters, doesn't it? If you were doing a deal with us and you put your name on it, you want it to be proud of it, wouldn't you? So that matters to me as well. So, I'm always looking at all those things. The other thing we're going to talk about is the renovation amount. How much does it cost to renovate the house? So if we're analyzing deals, I'm going to be asking some of these things, okay? Now, in the renovation costs, we've got to think of everything. Okay. All those things that are wrong with it and all those things that are ugly with it. Because we can't just fix everything that's wrong and leave the walls purple and the carpets red and it look crazy in there, right? We've got to give it sound. Another thing is just remember you're not moving into it. Okay. So any crazy design aspect, save that for your own house. Okay. You want anybody to walk into a house and it be like a clean slate for them. Also, there are two major things in a home that you must address. Um, and I, oh my God, I just started doing balloons. Sorry about that. That surprised me. I didn't know I had that update. um, Listen, normally, you have a spouse. One of them is going to love two areas of the home. Does anybody want to tell me two areas of the home that are the most important for you to pay attention to and put money in? Daco's got something in the chat. Anybody else? Garage and kitchen, kitchens and bathrooms. I think all of these answers are great. Adriana, kitchens and baths. I would say for my many years, I've been doing this for about 15 years. I've flipped over 1,600 houses. Kitchens and bathroom is the main one. I like to, you want someone to walk in that kitchen and be able to imagine cooking in that kitchen, right? I don't know about you guys. I know you could probably tell I'm Southern, but when people come over, everybody's huddled around the kitchen. That's where the love comes from. Also, that master bathroom is like a sanctuary for usually the owners of that house. So you really want to make sure if you're going to spend money on aesthetics that you put those in those two areas, okay? In those kitchens and bathrooms. If there is a secondary bathroom, I like to always put at least a tub in the second bathroom if the master bathroom has a walk-in shower. The reason for that, if somebody has kids, they want to be able to give their kids bath in that second bath. So I normally don't do two walk-in showers, but I do try to do walk-in showers in the master bedroom. Okay, so we've got that. Also, another major thing is your purchase price, right? So you got to make sure you're making your money on the buy, Generally, let's talk about buy box here. If you're going to get a loan from a bank, you're going to need to know something called an LTV, which is loan to value. They're going to want to know what the ARV is. They're going to want to know all of these things. Generally, most investors, and then I'm not talking about partner driven, I'm going to give you our buy box later, buy somewhere between anything between around maybe 72% of the ARV minus repairs. So most investors need to be at that number or below. I would never, and you'll see in some places of America, they're doing this at 80%. That is too skinny in my book. If you're trying to buy a deal at 80 cents on the dollar and come out with that, in the end, you're not going to make any money. I assure you. And if anything goes wrong, you have no room no room to fix that. Because everything, no matter how hard you try, not everything is going to be perfect. Not every job is going to come in at budget. And I can almost tell you, not any job is going to come in under budget. I've yet to see, okay, I could think of one in the last year, Roland, that's came in under budget. But that's not something that really happens where you're coming in under budget. So you want to make sure that you have all those things in line. So I would like to play a little game. Would y'all like to see a house we're about to flip in Nashville? And we're going to go through the photos of this house, and let's kind of talk about some of the renovations that need to be done.
All right, let's do it.
All right, so I've already got the pictures pulled up. So this is in Sunliner in Nashville, Tennessee. If you guys have never been to Nashville, don't know Nashville, this is a very, very hot city. Rolling, like, this city is blowing up. So these are not cheap homes per se. Let me look real quick and I'll tell you. Let me see
So
what
this is Nashville proper, like this is actually Nashville. Okay,
this is
nice.
actually Nashville, yes. And by
Nice.
the way, and this is confirmed by 3 different real estate agents, the ARV of this, Roland, is $495,000.
Ooh.
Okay, so here we are. And obviously, guys, somebody lives in these homes right now. They haven't moved in yet. So, I mean, they haven't moved out yet. So you're going to see, some stuff going on. I'm going to go through these just slowly so everybody can take this in.
There's definitely a lot to take in.
Mm-hmm. Let me know if I'm going too fast.
Are those cassette tapes?
Let me see. Yep, cassette tapes. I promise you
Wow.
these were just taken 3 weeks ago. And some of y'all might say, I can't believe this is an ARV of $495. It really is. Oh, I always look here at the kitchen. Like, one thing I'm noticing, these are solid cabinets. Even though they're older looking, these are solid cabinets. We'll just keep going. This is the outside. All right, that's kind of all we have there for photos. All right, so what are some major things that we've seen about that house that need to be addressed? Because we do need to look at what's wrong, but we also have got to look at what's ugly there, right? Because you know what I've seen? That's a solid home. Like, I see all kind of stuff. That's a good solid home. Anybody want to come up and say what they've seen, or what would you do if you seen this house? Curtis said stuck in the 70s. It's in a neighborhood, Daco. It's 3/4 of an acre. Anybody have any ideas of what they would do there? Lipstick update, Matthew said. Okay. So next, we're going to go through a home inspection. So one thing I always do is I get a bid, then I get a home inspection, and then what I do is I cross-reference that too, just to make sure that I don't miss anything. And Ben, you wouldn't believe the custom GPTs that I've created that will cross-reference the home inspection with the bid, that'll tie everything together. The kitchen needs work. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the actual home inspection of this house. Let me get right here. All right. Oh, no, this is a CMA. My bad. We get multiple CMAs. Let me run through these.
At first glance, Julie, you can tell there's a lot that goes behind the scenes with these deals, huh?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of stuff on here that we've got to kind of work through. We're trying to clear title right now. Oh, here we go. Here's the home inspection. Okay, so this gives a little bit better idea. It has the picture of the front of the house rolling.
Nice.
So usually when you're looking at these, the very front is going to kind of tell you the major things that are wrong with this house. So there were 65 items inspected. There's regular maintenance and 40 defects and 1 material defect. So we're going to scroll down. This is usually all just them telling you about themselves. So we're showing pictures of the roof. Some flashing around certain things. All right, then we'll start getting into the defects. So whenever someone goes to buy this house on the back end, what's going to happen is they're going to have one of these reports, and you're going to have to, they're going to give you things like this that are going to need to be done. So if we don't fix these things before we sell them, then we're just going to find this on the back end. So we've got some exposed fasteners, right? Mold on the roof, little things like that. Vent pipe need to be secured. But overall, this roof looks pretty good. Okay. Routine maintenance, just stuff in the gutters. We're going to keep moving on just to kind of give you an idea. A lot of times, this is not a huge deal, but it can be a very big deal anytime you see cracking in masonry. Okay. This is a retaining wall next to the house. The thing that scared me the most about this, Roland, is do you see that this there's a way to walk in down here?
Yeah.
And water will sit down here. This could
Yeah.
be an issue if this is not very wet. Like this is like, so everything's draining into this hole. That could be a huge problem. Okay. Also, there is a space here between the ground and this retaining wall. What this tells me is this retaining wall is pulling away from the ground. That could be huge, guys. Because those are not cheap to replace. He's just showing, okay, we got some weeds growing behind the HVAC. GFCIs, if your GFIs do not work correctly, they will not pass a loan, Roland. Something as small as a GFI has to be fixed to sell this house. So this one is a faulty GFI on the outside of this home. I'm not worried about some minor cracking on the driveway. We got some deteriorated conditions at the front porch, but this right here too, this is an aesthetic thing as well. Wood rotted window. Here's your exterior door. Looks pretty rough, huh?
Yeah.
Weather trim needs replaced. Let's see any other major things. Water penetration. This is huge.
Was that the front door, Julie?
I think that was the door going into the basement.
Okay. Okay.
One thing that I really like about this house is this is the only house in the entire neighborhood that has a basement, for whatever that's worth. So hit this.
May I interrupt and ask a question really quick?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there a comprehensive list of items that might be problems in the future for insurance purposes? Like you mentioned a GFI, but I don't know exactly what that is. And so I was thinking, I wonder if there is a list somewhere of things to look out for when you're getting the inspection report.
Yeah, absolutely. There is. And before this is over, I'll share that list for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Because there's all kind of things. GFIs, this is huge in HVAC. So this is him testing, okay, what's the heat coming out? What's the AC coming out at what degrees? The refrigerant line missing or damaged, the filter's dirty, older systems. All right, I'm going to pull through this real quick. I hate to bore everybody. I don't know if you like this kind of geek out on this kind of stuff like I do. We've got some, I'm going to keep going so we can start looking at the bid a little bit here because we haven't even gotten to the house. So here's the old panel in the home. So normally one of these inspections is about $500. I'd rather pay $500 than lose thousands of dollars because I didn't get this done. Okay.
Did you get that inspection prior to going into contract or the other way
No,
around?
no. I only will pay for a home inspection once I know we're going to buy the house.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, you're kind of looking and making an estimate of what you're going to spend. Like that's kind of more of a guesstimate. Because there's no way you'd want to spend all this. You wouldn't want to spend this kind of money on this house. Like if you don't know, like prior to getting it under contract. Now in the bathroom, toilets are working, water's working. They're just kind of ugly, right? For Nashville to get $500,000 for a house. So I'm going to keep going through this. Now he's checking the outlets. Like if you'll see, we're missing a ground here. Got some other electrical issues. These aren't really huge things though, Roland.
Now, Julie, I'm not sure if this is the right time to ask, but if someone wants to start flipping houses and they don't have this experience, this background, it can obviously feel very overwhelming.
Oh yeah, and it should.
How do we mitigate that? How do we help with that?
Well, I mean, one thing is through experience because I've done so many of these. I know what to look out for, right? And unfortunately, a lot of these things are learned from time in the business, right? Because there's one thing about real estate investing is it's never the same thing every time. And if you think you know everything, you don't know anything because you don't know, nobody knows everything about real estate investing. I learn something new every day. But listen, this right here is a big deal. So if you're looking at the ceiling here and you're seeing these spots, this is kind of scary, right? Is this a previous thing? This is water. And water is the worst thing to get into a house because of mold deterioration. So that's something to be concerned about when you're looking. Obviously, the carpets are bad. There's a lot of spiders. Not too worried about that. I'm mostly worried about termites. All right, we're just going to keep going. The garbage disposal's really loud. Countertops are bad. Previous moisture damage. Probably there was a leak under the sink. But all in all, to me, for this house to be old, this is a very solid house. There's nothing wrong with this home inspection. There's nothing in this home inspection that's made me scared yet, right? I would say if you're in the business, this is gold right here. Like this is absolute gold. You're seeing needing new things, new roof, new HVAC here. Here scares me whatsoever. Like this is if you were to put a model home up, this for me is it right here. This is a moneymaker all day long. So not super worried about that. Now, let me go back to my system here. So one thing I'm showing people, probably you don't understand what I'm at here, and you shouldn't. This is my internal system, Roland, that we use here at Partner Driven, to keep up with everything, right? Because there's a lot that goes into buying a house. So just so you guys know, we're paying $295 for this. So would you guys pay $295 for this if you could fix it up and resell it for 500,000? If you had the money?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah,
So after looking at these photos and that home inspection, y'all would move forward on this, wouldn't you?
for sure.
I would say all day long. All right. Let me look here at this. Oh, no, that's more photos. I should have showed you those. I just, they sent me photos and I'm like, that's not enough photos for me. All right. So let's look at this bid. So this is a company called Cashmore. I personally like this company because, and I've got their, if you've got a contractor working on your house, you want referrals, right? You want insurance information, and I want that they are licensed and insured, especially with this extensive of work. I let handyman work on houses all the time, but these are system changes, right? I want somebody that knows what they're doing working on this, because demolition of everything, okay? Demolition of old floors, all the linoleum, carpet, tile, countertops, wall heaters, toilets, kitchen partition walls, because that's another thing. Is, do you know in older houses where they cut the kitchen up, like where you've got a kitchen leading into the living room and it's closed that off? I'm ripping that out. Because when somebody walks in, I want it to have an open floor plan. So now we're getting into the aesthetics. For me to get $500,000 in Nashville, this is in an area, Roland, where a lot of young people are moving to. Like, it's a city where there's a nice nightlife, that whole, so a lot of young people move into that. So I've got to make this thing top notch.
Right. Makes sense.
I want to take out the old lights and put can lights all through the kitchen and all through the living room. And there's old heaters in the walls. I'm going to remove all of that and re-drywall through that. New door packages. So I need all new 6-panel doors. You want all the doors to be brand new. Those flat doors do not go in $500,000 homes. Okay. So we need all new doors, all new closets, all new windows. Okay. Because this house needs all new windows. That's going to get dinged. It did not say that, but you're going to need new windows on a house. Anytime you got metal windows, you're going to need that, especially in this price range. I want all new interior doors and all 5 exterior doors. Repair the drywall. I mean, you're looking at the prices here. This is all, believe it or not, this is all mostly cosmetic, Roland. But to put these high quality materials in, because I want new countertops too. All new LVP, strip lights, building in all new shutters on the outside of the home, new carpet in the back home of the addition. We came in at $63,000. Okay. So to go over that, we've got an ARV of $495, right? I'm pulling something else up. Hopefully it'll come up on my screen. Let me turn my camera off real quick. Give me just a minute, guys. This is all live here. Just trying to make sure everything comes up. So we had that bid for 63. Let me see if I can download it. Oh, sorry. Just so y'all know, this was me getting his insurance information. So you want a contractor that has at least $2 million policy on something like this. That way, in case somebody gets hurt out here on the job, you're not responsible. All right. So ARV 495, purchase 295, renovation 64. So how do we know if that's a deal? The way to do this is I'm going to pull a calculator out. And I want to be at, you're going to add your ARV of 495,000, which, by the way, after Roland, one thing I didn't mention, it is an ARV of 495, but I believe I'm going to get 530 on this.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm going to be able to get 530 because last week one sold on that same street for 550. Also, ours has a basement, and I'm adding a few extra things there, like with that kitchen and opening that up. So I'm going to start at actually 530 here. I don't have that in here because I had a conversations with 3 different realtors that told me that. So take 530 times 0.65. So that's 65% of the ARV minus repairs, minus the $63,000 renovation. Oops. So this is saying we should buy this house at 281,500, but we're buying it at 295. So even though we're not following our own rules of 65% of ARV minus repairs, do you see how it's close enough where you still would do that deal? I mean, this is a $90,000 payday, because remember, on the back end, you got to pay real estate commissions, closing costs on the front and the back end. We've got to pay holding cost the whole time we're buying this house, power bills, insurance, the whole 9 yards. But this will be a grand slam. This house will be out summer of this year. And I'm excited about this one. My last house in Nashville sold in 3 days on Meadowview. So I'm super pumped. This is with our partner Vance Hudgens. This is his 3rd deal with us. And by the way, you know what's crazy about that? Meadowview's his. We haven't even closed on the sell side of it yet. I'm finishing the other renovation I'm doing with Vance on Brown Cemetery Lane. Its renovation will be done on Friday, and we're buying this one this week. So that is a partner who is fairly new with us, and we've got 3 houses going with him right now. And by the way, he's been a real estate agent for 30 years. Oh, and he gets half the profits, and he gets the commission because he's the real estate agent. I'm like, Vance, you got it better than I do. Right. So, that's a little bit about what we do. I don't know if this stuff is fun stuff for you, but I'll tell you, this is the nitty gritty stuff that you've got to look at, right? Like I take the time to talk to the real estate agents that are going to be selling other ones besides just one person's opinion. I look at multiple ways to configure that home, and every home that even though I'm not moving into these homes, I want to be proud. And let's just say me and Vance want to be proud, as he's my partner on this deal, that we're putting out something that we would live in ourselves. We're putting out something that is worth somebody's money. And this is going to be a gem. So does anybody have any deals right now that they want to discuss?
As we wait for a few folks to kind of raise their hand, there's not too many of us here, so feel free to just to pipe up or raise your physical hand. If not, you can click on your digital hand under reactions.
And I'm
But Julie,
hopeful
as we
for
wait,
a 530 sell, Miss Adriana. Hopefully we'll get that. But either way, we'll still be in the deal good.
and as we're
Yeah,
waiting for
well,
people to, oh, there you
that
are.
was a question that crossed my mind. I just didn't want to interrupt you because it sounds amazing. So congratulations. And I was wondering though, what would it be if that profit, like the 65 percent of the aftermarket value that you're doing your math with, you said that it, was off, but because your profit would be so high that you would stay in this deal, but where would it be to make you turn away from it? So
Probably
if
above
it,
70%.
okay, okay, that's what I was wondering.
Probably above 70%. Also, the
Okay.
type of renovation. Okay. So like this 63,000 is almost all cosmetic. Does that make sense? This is not
Yeah,
like you're not doing huge renovations. It costs 63,000 just because, everything has to be touched, but we're not doing major things here. So the time to get this deal done is probably 2 months to finish this renovation. Um, so I'm not necessarily worried about that. But above
okay,
70, I would be kind of like, you know what I mean? And I
right.
might go up to 72% if it's a $15,000-$20,000 renovation. Days on market matter, because what if the real estate agents say, golly, anything that's sitting here sits on the market for 6 months? Well, that's scary, right? Like I know in Nashville, if I put a good product out, it's going to move quickly, especially the best time of the year, which is spring and summer in real estate.
That
But
makes
Julie,
perfect sense. Thank
Yes, ma'am. Thanks for the question.
so Julie, but it would be fair to say that although it doesn't fit our particular formula or the parameters, there's still ways for us to potentially make money on that deal still, right?
Oh, if we would took this same deal, okay, I could have sold it the day we got under contract and made 30,000 without even touching it. So we do something called wholesaling, where we wholesale on the real estate on the market. So that house is direct to seller, which you want to always be direct to seller. You're not buying houses from real estate agents or wholesalers. I could have turned that around that house and relisted it and made $30,000 like that. Now we do that a lot of times, but some deals are worth going into. So would I take the 30 now, or are we going to take 90 in 4 months? What would y'all want to do? I'm
I
sure
am
y'all rather
definitely,
get
yeah,
$45,000, right? Because that would be the difference in the split.
I would tell
So
them to be like Vance and do two more at the same time.
yes. So Meadowview, he's going to do the Brown Cemetery is actually it's a mobile home and it's going to sell. Um, But I mean, there's a number of things we want to do. And you know what's like that I want to mention? Guys, a lot of people are like, well, what deals will you do? I try to do as many deals as possible because remember, we make 50% of the profits. So I don't want to be a deal killer. I just want to save us from making a mistake, right? Because if this inspection report looked any other way, we'd be in trouble. Like there was a deal actually Saturday. It takes me about an hour and a half to look through a home inspection and a bid. There was a house on Saturday that we were going to close on in a week and a half from now. I literally called Peter on a Saturday and the partner and like, let's stop this right now. Like it was in that bad a shape to where we had to kill it on a Saturday. And it was something that the contractor didn't see, nor the partner seen. The house, when the home inspector went and looked at the walls, it had been underwater before. Somebody had put up new sheetrock on the house and the whole inside of the house was covered in mold. We don't want to find that out after we buy it, do we? So we would have been in big trouble had we had not found that out. So I want to find all the uh-ohs so that we can have, great things on the back end. But that's the beautiful thing about working with us. And let me tell you too, is it's not that we just do all this, is we're putting our own money up. Number one, we're not making money if we're not doing deals. And number two, we're not, we want to do deals. Okay. I'm not so cautious that you have to be a little bit bold in this business to make money. You can't be so cautious because you might overanalyze every deal. But joining Partner Driven is the only money that you're ever going to spend to flip a lifetime of real estate deals. What Vance paid us to do one deal is literally probably a tenth of what he's going to make on 3 deals. And you'll never have to spend money on property down payments, earnest money, inspection costs. We don't call our partner and say, pay for the inspection. We pay for that. Any mortgage payments, hard money costs, all the renovation materials we've paid for, the contractors, closing costs, realtor fees, appraisals. We fund the absolute entire cost of the deal. And then we split the net profits with our partners. Okay. After all those things are taken out. So you're at no risk, not to mention you're not putting your name up on the deal. So like you're not going up on a loan. Okay. So we're not using your credit to go out there and do a deal with like a lot of other programs are. We're not doing that. We take 100% of the risk and you're taking the gain. And let's be honest what that means. Do you think that sometimes things happen on a deal and we lose money? Yeah. This house I'm working on in New Orleans, guess what happened there? Somebody broke in and stole everything out of the house and destroyed it.
Oof.
We didn't ask our partner for a dime on that. If you're in this business, any amount of times things like that happens. I don't want it to happen. Right. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you real estate investing is roses and rainbows every day neither, because it's not. You got to take the good with the bad. But I wanted to throw that out there, Roland.
Yeah, absolutely, Julie. And the reason why it was great to talk about now as well is because when you ask people, hey, how many deals do you want to do? Many people answer that question with their own wallet, right? They think, oh man, I can only do so much based on my limited capacity and resources. But like you just mentioned, the whole purpose of partnership is so you can remove that lid and truly do as many deals as you can get your hands on, just like our partner Vance. Adriana, did you have another question? I see your hand raised. I appreciate you raising your hand there.
I did. I'm so sorry that I didn't
No,
raise
you're
it
okay.
the other times that I was trying to ask a question. I
No,
apologize.
please. You're okay.
So I live in an area that has a little bit of everything when it comes to potential. So we have, these areas that are up and coming that are very old and just need a lot of TLC. So these are areas that are well loved by the community, but again, people just don't have the capital to turn the houses, and the people that do are usually outside investors. So then there's this other area in the same region that I'm sure that everybody has heard of at some point in time, but on the Emerald Coast on the Gulf of Florida is 30A. And that's where I'm at right now. I'm just unexpectedly driving today instead of being in front of a screen. So
I've
I
been there
apologize.
many a times. I vacation at Seaside. I'm from
Okay.
Georgia, so everybody goes to
Okay. So
vacation.
yeah. And
So where
right now
exactly are you talking about? Are you talking like Destin, Panama, or in between there?
I'm literally on 30A as we speak, but I am kind of closer to watercolor. So Santa Rosa Beach is literally my eyes are on the ocean right now at Santa Rosa Beach. And so I'm kind of thinking outside of the box with this, because if capital was not an issue, then would, like, I guess kind of an earlier question that was asked in the chat was, are you guys investing in these larger multifamily properties? Because if we have a property here that is in need of just a little renovation, but it's on the market for $15 million. And so there is value in the vacation rental market, and you can see the actual portfolio for what it's produced. And it's going to sell because the market is selling. But at the same time, it's a $15 million investment, not a, $250,000 investment. And I think both are equally difficult. But if that opportunity is there, what is kind of the
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, Adrian. I know that area very, very well. Number one, we don't do multifamily.
Okay.
Number two, that's probably not the type of properties that I'm looking for. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm going to be looking for more of your Destin and your Panama City middle class homes, because you can turn more of those. Like
Okay.
You know, because like Santa Rosa Beach, for instance, like where you live, you might have to wait 3 months just on tile,
Okay.
right? And it's a
Uh,
whole, that's like luxury real estate, and I'm
right.
more in middle class real estate. So like, not that
Okay.
I would turn something down, but like for what you would do one deal in Santa Rosa, I could do 30 in Panama City. and
Right.
and those houses sell in a week or two. So the type of homes that we like, I mean, just because I don't want you to come in with false expectations, I would never want to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's why I asked, because the other
Yeah,
end of it is,
and we do fix and flip. So I'm never going to do a vacation rental because that's opposite of what we do. And actually vacation rental market's going soft right now.
yeah, I know that part too. Yeah, but
Unfortunately.
that market surrounds 38 as well. Like you said,
You're in a gold mine there. Just because it's not
yeah,
those $1 million houses in Santa Rosa, like
right,
Panama City, those outskirts, you know, before you go over the bridge. Like,
right. And even from the west, from like Navarre Beach and Pensacola, that's
oh,
where I was talking.
absolutely.
Yeah, Pensacola has these kind of like the New Orleans style shotgun homes going for like $20,000 in areas that are being built up and then being resold for 200, $300,000 in East Hill
Yeah.
on Scenic Highway. So yeah, that's another market. That's why I was asking,
But
should
you could
my
take your style of 30A and put those little features into those homes though. Do you know what I'm
I know,
saying?
right? Make it
Um,
fun and beautiful. Yeah.
because
Thank you.
you could do a lot of that on the cheap, but I'm looking for things that kind of sell quick in the
Right,
middle class. But hey, wished I lived on in Santa Rosa in watercolor. So
right. No,
Awesome,
thank you so
awesome.
much for answering that.
yeah, good to have you
Absolutely.
on, Adriana.
Thank
Hey,
you.
Julie, before we bring up Kelly here on next on the line here, we get that a lot. We get that question a lot as far as, there's so many ways to make money in real estate. And you and Pete, you've been in the same sandbox, if you will, for the last few decades. And that's residential, 1 to 4 units. For those folks that may have jumped on late, why is that? Why did you have you guys chosen just kind of stay in this lane and really get kind of master this part of real estate?
There's a lot in real estate, right? And here's the thing, if you try to focus on too many things, you'll be a jack of all trades and a master of none. Right. And that's a good way to lose money. I'll just be honest with you. So what I do is I stay in one lane. Okay. And I rock that one lane out. That doesn't mean personally that I don't want to get into other things, right? Like I may have rentals, I do creative financing, I do a lot of things. But if you're going to have a company like ours that's going to scale to any level, you've got to kind of go a little bit more granular into something and be good at that one thing. Okay. And this is just what we know. This is, nothing against any other strategies. I'm not saying they don't work or there's anything wrong with them, but this is just my lane.
Love it. Love it. Thanks for clearing that up. Kelly, thanks for waiting. Appreciate that. I know you're driving, so hopefully you can
I
talk
pulled
and
over.
chat. Okay,
I
good,
pulled
good,
over so
good.
I could talk, so I don't run into anybody. I appreciate you guys letting me on here. I'm on late, and I'm brand new to this concept and this company. I've only had like an initial interview, and but I was invited to get on the call, and I got on as soon as I could. But
Well, hey, Kelly.
how are you doing?
Good.
I um, I do have experience. I've flipped probably 50 houses. I've either funded them
Nice.
myself or have private investors. Um, for the last year, I got hung up in a luxury flip. I ended up selling it for 2.8, added 2,600 square feet. It's quite complicated, a bad move, not for the loss of the money, but the loss of use of money for that period of time. It cost me more than you make, right? Opportunity cost loss. But the last year, I've been spending time doing some roll-ups with medical spas and then selling them to private equity. And so I'm looking to do this as a way to scale without the time obligation and the headaches of managing and overseeing.
Okay.
Um, so I don't know anything about you guys and your ability to execute. I mean, I've looked at the same numbers, the flow charts, the worksheets, and all that. I do find when I first started, 65% to get a house was pretty common. today that doesn't seem as common to be able
Where
to
are
get
you
with
located at?
I'm in Central Florida area. I live in Orlando, Orange County
Okay.
area,
Yeah.
Seminole County. So I'm looking at this as something that I could implement and use. A couple things, and these aren't challenging the integrity, it's more understanding how you got to it. Like I found your repair numbers incredibly inexpensive compared to the marketplace to get that work done. In Orlando, that work would probably cost you 85 to 90 to do that deal you just showed. And I'm a little nervous about doing it on projected. Maybe I could get 530 when you think the ARV is 500. So when you look at your numbers and getting deals to implement with this, can you talk a little more about what actually you're going to accept and what range is legitimately, um, not legitimately, it's a bad word, a routinely found property that we could implement within this?
Yeah, absolutely. So first thing, when the deal originally came in, okay, we
Uh-huh.
talked to real estate agents, and my original ARV was 495. Okay.
Okay.
Last week, one sold since I've been in the due diligence of this house.
Okay. That's
So
always good.
at 550. So
Okay.
that's why I
And
have
it's
the,
a comp.
yes, the comp just came in.
Okay.
So that's why I went up on that. I actually think I'm going to be closer to 550 because that house did not have a basement and mine does.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you,
However, so for there, that's kind of a big deal. That's why I'm kind of going a little bit low at 530. Now the renovation, I've used this company multiple times.
okay, that's encouraging. They're
Um,
just Nashville area though. They're not anywhere else, right?
They're
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 just
they're not anywhere else.
right.
However, I've got construction crews all over. Not to mention, I use a nationwide contracting crew who, by
Oh,
the way, has a home office in Orlando.
okay, that's good to know.
And these prices are not abnormal. You right?
Okay.
Now, if you're talking a high-end home like you're talking about, then every bit of it. In
No, no.
Nashville, this is still a middle grade house.
I would go after I mean that was a one-off for me. I normally I mean I bought some that are like 500, I sold at 880, that type
Yeah.
of range. Those are probably the higher end, but a lot of them I bought at 250 and sold at 550, that range,
Yeah. I was
as
just saying,
well.
like on renovation costs, the labor in that is not bad in that bid that I showed you. It's
Okay.
material cost is what's different. I'm not putting super high end materials in this home to get that amount. Do you know what
Okay.
I mean?
Yes,
So
I know exactly.
so I think that might be the difference. And I've probably done, well, number one, I've personally done 600 flips in Florida myself. I had a business there for years.
Okay.
In Jacksonville, and I did Orlando, Palm Coast, St. Augustine, Jacksonville. So because I'm in Georgia, I've just done a lot in Florida. Uh,
Okay. Makes sense.
but mostly, like if you were to say, "Hey, I want to add this into my repertoire," right? Because I love what you're doing. You're with, putting those into the roll up. You're buying businesses, right?
Right.
Okay. So to add this in, the only issue you'll have is I don't find deals through real estate agents and wholesalers. You would need, the reason we need partners is because people think the finding the deal part is the easiest part, and it's not. And
No,
by
I think that's the harder part. I actually
it,
think I could execute your side a lot easier than the front side. That's why the 65%, I'm like, sheesh, I'm like,
well, sometimes I
competing
go up
against
to
that.
70, but I don't want to give people the impression that I'm always going to do that. You know what I mean? I'd rather
Yeah.
shoot for the moon and hit the stars. I don't
No,
know if
I
you
get it.
know
I'm that
about.
way too.
Yeah. But I would say you would need to develop a direct to seller thing, which there are ways to do that, which by the way, we don't just fund deals. We have a community. So you'd be in a community with all kinds of people who, by the way, do deals together themselves,
Okay.
that do different things. Like you would get along really good. Roland, he'd get along good with Chad. Chad, by the way, is going to spend his summer down there in Orlando, and he's in
Okay.
Indiana. Sorry, I know these guys really well. So you would like the community, and you would like to learn how to find deals direct to seller. Somebody like you needs an acquisitions manager, and you need to be buying your leads through like an iSpeed to lead, or need to sell my house fast. So you're buying quality leads so you can turn and burn, because it's very, very easy in the state of Florida for me to do a hotel deal. And almost every deal you get, even if it's at 90%, we could make money.
Okay.
Seriously, because there's so many people that buy in Florida. All you need is the direct to seller lead. So if you put money out to get to direct to seller, because you're not going to be cold calling or driving for dollars, just based off of what you've told me. Not that there's
Right.
anything wrong with that. Everybody on the call, I still do driving for dollars.
I mean, if I came across something doing that, I would do it, but that's not going to be my
Yes,
strategy.
but if you spent money into marketing and you
I could
found
do that.
direct to seller, and you had somebody that negotiated the deals, or you sound like a good negotiator anyway.
Yeah, that's probably my
Aura,
superpower with a seller. Get in front of them. I think I could close deals. It's just getting in front, getting the quantity of people to get in front of to close the deals.
I
I
don't
could do
think
that.
I can close 1 in every 12, and you're probably a better negotiator than I am.
Yeah, I think I do 1 in 10. I think that would be a very safe margin for me, a
So
ratio.
you're talking maybe $1,000, $1,500 in leads. Leads aren't cheap, by the way, people, for people to get SEO leads. But I mean, we have the resources. We literally train on these things. And I spend my time with people that are movers and shakers. I mean, I do more than just what we say, because I'm obviously going to gravitate towards partners that are putting themselves out there. Because if you do 3 deals with me a month, don't you know a good well, we're going to just push to do more.
Yeah, I was going to say I'd probably not want to do this if I couldn't do at least 2 deals a month. I kind of look at it like planes taking off at an airport. I get them in the air and then we land them, so that it happens. I get paid every month, right? No matter how long
Yeah.
it takes to
But
get it
there's a
rolling like
lot,
that.
and if you flipped houses, there's a lot of that I'll just say that I take off of your shoulders, because I do that. I mean,
Yeah,
I
I'm a little
manage all
nervous
the
about handing that.
renovations. That's not no easy thing to just do.
No, I'm a little nervous about that actually because I know how many things could go wrong and how people don't show up and stuff gets taken, all the thing. I mean, from doing that. Another thing I wanted to bring up too is I try to look at data, even though I'm not a detailed person at all. I saw the other day that 30% of all of the available houses on the market right now are in Texas and Florida, occupy 30% of the inventory in the United States. And which is not the market we're going after, but it is an indication of how values of properties are going to happen. They felt like property values in Florida may, over the course of the year, drop up to 5% going. So when we're doing deals and working on stuff, do you factor that stuff in? I mean, if I find someone willing to 65% off a current today comp, do you think about that from a standpoint of time, or do you feel like you can get most stuff done in 90 to 120 days on
Oh,
a
the
flip?
renovation?
Yeah,
Oh, absolutely. I'm getting it done, because the quicker I get it done, the more money we make.
yeah.
But I don't want that to be at the expense of quality.
No, I'm not worried about. I mean, when you say time, I'm not. That
Yeah.
doesn't scare me or excite me either one. I mean, for me, I've done flips as little as 2 weeks to the one I did in Tampa was 14 months. So it was like forever, you
Yeah.
know. But that took a lot of city stuff, is historic and on and on.
Yeah.
All right. So you're not the owner of the company. You just have a
Oh, I
division
am
that
the
you
owner.
run. Oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah.
So you
So,
control all of it, huh?
well, me and my business partner, Peter Vexelman. So he's been in the business 30 years. He's probably the face of Partner Driven.
Okay.
Okay. Um, but, but I, I mean, we own the company together. He was my first mentor, 15, 16 years ago.
Very cool. Yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, I'm good at raising money. Like I have lots of people I can call to get money. Um, from that side,
Well, you can always get money, but you know as well as I do, finding a good partner is priceless.
yeah, it is priceless, and
And
that's
it's
yeah,
priceless on our end too. right? It's not like, not to say, oh, we're the best thing since sliced bread. I'm looking for the sliced bread too.
Partnering is important to me because I know I can only, if I'm doing this, I'm not doing something else. And if I'm doing this with somebody that detracts and deducts from my value and time, then that's a
We
bad
all want
move.
multiple streams of income. We all
Yeah.
appreciate that, don't think I'm not, I don't look at things that revolve less of my time that I could put money into that work
Yeah.
for me. I know what you're going for.
Yeah. So this has been a very enlightening, a pleasure to meet you as well.
Oh, you
It's
too,
always
hon,
gives a
Kelly.
lot of confidence. I don't know how to get back and talk with you as I investigate and look
Roland,
this through,
if
but
you're Roland will take care of you. He's one of our acquisition managers here.
okay. Do you
Yeah,
guys
Kelly.
have any systems, by the way, for the acquisition side? Do you do any coaching or training? Like you mentioned, a couple lead generation sites that I'm not aware of because I'm not on that side of the fence.
We do,
Um,
and I think Roland probably has a couple really cool things to tell you. Have we came out with that yet, Roland?
Not yet, not yet.
Okay, never mind.
Maybe
Almost,
we can set up
almost.
a call then, Roland, or
Yeah,
at some
Yeah,
point.
you've got to, because I have something coming down the line that is going to blow people's minds.
Yeah, I like my mind blowing. That's good.
But
and
yeah, and I
Kelly,
own an app too that finds real estate deals on top of that.
Okay. How do you guys feel about some of these like lead generation where you buy leads for whatever, propertylead.com or whoever the case may
Well, I
be?
just told you two of them that I use. I believe in them. The difference is I get the beauty of seeing lots of people buy from different companies. So I know which ones work and which ones don't.
Okay, can you tell me those again? Are you open to say them out loud again?
Yeah, I mean, I don't make money off of it, but I like iSpeed to lead.
High speed to lead.
hmm And that's what's the beautiful thing about being in a community, because you'll be able to ask people. Like Archie Ragland, we're closing like 2 or 3 deals a month with him, and he buys leads. And by the way, you're not stuck in Orlando. If you buy leads in Huntsville, Alabama, I can do those deals too.
How
You
about
see what
Detroit
I mean?
area? I got a high interest to get
Detroit
something
is
done.
actually, I'm closing one on Ardmore Street in Detroit next.
What county?
It's I don't know what county.
Because Wayne County, I think, is the main one, but when you look at average income in Wayne County, it's like 56,000. You look at it in Washtenaw, it's like Ann Arbor area, it's like $86,000. So I don't know that market that well, but I got a high level interest in developing business there. And
Well, this is Detroit. Sorry, here's my notes on this house.
by the way, while you're looking there, what was the second one? Speed to lead, and the other one was what?
Need to sell my house fast. I like
Need-
iSpeed better.
and Kelly, real quick, you're working with Sean, I believe, right?
Yes, and
Okay,
he's
good,
been
good.
great. He's been great, by the way. So whatever I can do to give him kudos,
Absolutely.
that would be, I'm definitely into that world of trying to help people advance their world when they do a good job. So
This is Detroit. I don't know what county it's in. I don't think to know that. I'm sorry.
what you got there in that picture? What is that?
That's a shed.
I was gonna say that looks like a really rough house.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. Oh, here we go. We're buying this one for 33.
Okay.
I've already got a buyer at 60.
And that's before you remodel it?
I'm not even touching it.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking is to get some quick business here,
I
you
mean,
know.
that's that. Like, if you, let's say you're not in like Orlando, you're going to be able to do the same thing. I don't think it's like as hard of a market as you're saying, just in my experience with the partners that I have. But like, let's say you found a good lead source, like you could go buy leads in, let's say Huntsville, Alabama, which by the way is another really hot market.
Okay.
And I can buy and sell these all day long. And somebody asked me in the chart, how about the New York market? I'm in New York right now. The house I'm doing right now is not in New York, New York. This is like the country New York. I don't know how to explain it.
The state of New York?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not downtown New York City. Those would be pretty rough to be able to do something with.
Mm-hmm. Trying to find my BC and renovation
Do you guys help with any of the
for
legal
Donia.
documents and things like that
Oh,
for?
we do all of that for you. That's another thing is I don't want my partners worried about paperwork. I have an entire back
Okay,
office.
good. So if I find a seller that says, I'm ready, we'll agree on a price, I send you the name and number, and you guys like
No,
handle it from there.
You're responsible for contracting them.
Okay, and you have that paperwork, the contract you want me to use?
It's automated, right? So like you'd go in, put the information, and you might say, I want it e-signed and sent to John Smith. It would go to John Smith and give you a copy of the contract that was sent to John Smith. It's automatic.
Okay,
You can even get a contract sent to you that you can print off and take to somebody to sign, because that happens a lot too.
can you talk a little bit about your systems you have in place to handle and a leveraging increase, a scaling ability with yourself so you don't get spread out so far that these deals can't get completed because you just don't have enough resources?
Yeah, absolutely. So long story short is I am working with a company right now that is owned by a hedge fund called Rhythm Capital. Rhythm Capital owns thousands of rental houses across America.
Okay.
Inherently, because this hedge fund owns all these houses, they have a construction company that manages
Ah,
those. Okay. So they're already nationwide. It's not like they're flying crews out everywhere. Okay. So in a lot of markets, they are my boots on the ground, and I can scale because I use them as my
okay.
arm. Does that make sense? And they've already got GCs, they've already got that, and they're competitively priced to get my business because I get them more business too.
So
It's
the
because that
company,
hedge fund's trying to grow.
no, I get it. That's fantastic. That's a good answer. So the company you work for in Jacksonville, um, I
That's when
assume
I did this on my own. I owned that company.
oh, you own the one in Jacksonville.
I flipped houses in Jacksonville. I also owned a real estate team, even though I wasn't a licensed agent. So
Okay.
I used to teach real estate agents how to make a cash offer on a property. And if the cash offer didn't work, how to convert that into a listing. And the
Okay.
benefit of me teaching them that was I got the deals.
Yeah, of course. That's smart. I like it. I like it. All right. Well, I'm sorry to occupy
Sorry.
the call here so much and dominate it, but these are all things that are
Hey,
critical
these
for
are
me
great
making
questions.
decisions.
I would rather get these questions than just sit here and just talk into the blue. So
Awesome, Kelly. Yeah, thanks for joining us. Be sure to hook up back with Sean. He'll take good care of you. Appreciate you being here. Hey, Julie, real quick, obviously Kelly's kind of on the other side of the spectrum, right? Someone who has some experience, has more business acumen, and has the resources to get those leads that you talked about. But what about those folks who aren't there yet? They haven't got their first deal. They're looking to get out of their W-2, make this a reality. What's kind of your advice for them?
well, I'll tell you, number one, nothing in life worth having comes free. Okay. But that doesn't always mean money. It's either time or it's money. So you're either going to pay to play or you're going to pay your time to play. Okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, even though, like, and not to say this, I can afford to buy leads. I love driving for dollars. I still do free things because I believe in them. We give resources to individuals that have time to put into this, that maybe don't have the capital to go out and purchase leads like Mr. Kelly, right? That can do things that it's okay if you're not buying leads. You could still call pre-foreclosures, right? And call them and help them buy their home prior to them losing it back to the bank. You can always go driving for dollars. You could send letters. Heck, you know what's free? Facebook Marketplace. If I'm anybody on this call and you're worried about how to go find a deal and in something that you can do any time of the day, each and every one of you can go to Facebook Marketplace right now and go look for houses for sale and find every house for sale that's not listed with a real estate agent, that's direct to owner, and make an offer on every single one. You do that long enough, you're going to find a deal. So I never think because you don't have the money to spend on leads that you're not going to be successful. That is incorrect statement. Let me tell you, I was a single mother and had zero money when I got started in this business. And this business changed my life financially. Okay. So this is not a business that is only looks at your pocketbook, thank God. Which a lot of businesses are. Like, you can't go buy a franchise if you don't have money, right? But real estate investing, you can put your time in and be successful, but you got to be willing to put hard work in, and even if you've got money, you still got to put hard work in. Regardless, you're going to have to pay something. You got to pay the piper.
Love it. Love it,
I
Julie.
don't know if that answered your
Yeah,
question.
absolutely. Absolutely. You know, bottom line, there's definitely something here in store for everyone, regardless again of where you are in your journey of real estate.
Heck, I
That
would say if you don't have the money, you have a little bit more grit sometimes,
Yeah,
you
100%.
know?
100%. Unless there's any other questions, I definitely want to let you get back to getting those deals done, Julie. If I can, Chelsea, if you can drop the link on kind of what's next. You know, click the link. Myself or someone else on the team will reach out to you, if not tonight, tomorrow at the latest, to kind of see if there's going to be a fit here, Julie, right? Because at the end of the day, we definitely want to work with everyone, but at the same time, you know, we also have limited
You're not the right
capacity.
fit for everybody, and you may not be a right fit for us either. And we don't no we, at Partner Driven, do not want a relationship that's not fruitful on both ends. That's only fair. And I hope, that it's okay that I am who I am. So I don't want to misrepresent myself. But we want people that have the same agenda that we have, and that want to be in a partnership, that love collaboration, that want to just make money and be better together.
Love it, love it. On that note, Julie, let's close out with Curtis. I think he has one last question, and then we'll kind of go wrap it up from there. Hey, Curtis.
Hey, you mentioned something about our responsibility is I believe the offer contract or
So when you go out to the market, where do you live, Curtis?
Lakeland, Florida, right next to
Lakeland,
Orlando.
Florida. I was going to say, y'all are right there together. So as far as anybody around you is concerned, you are the investor. You don't go to your marketplace and say, I work with this company that buys houses. Curtis is the real estate investor.
Okay.
You're building your own business there in Lakeland, Florida. That is your job. As far as, and I'm explaining it this way so you understand that you're building your own business. As far as sellers are concerned, we're your money people.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Your job and your responsibility is to grow your business. So you're going out and finding deals. You're getting them under contracts. You probably are going to want to go see these houses when we're in the middle of flipping them. You might be different than Kelly, right? I'm going to take that. And I'm going to take your help because I believe in collaboration.
Okay. And because I have home inspection experience, I may be overcritical on the things. Okay.
Good, because you and I will be talking. I'll be like, Curtis, what we got over there? You know what I mean? Like, this is we're a decent sized company, but we're not like I'm not at some point to where I do this every day. I don't teach real estate investing for a living. I do deals for a living.
Okay.
And I have goals and dreams in my life for my family, just like you do.
Okay.
So the more we do together, the better we do together, the better both of our families are going to be. It's how I look at it.
Okay.
Okay.
Understood.
Love it. Love
Thank
it.
you.
Thanks, Curtis. Be sure to click the
Appreciate it.
link. And that way we can chat even further. And if you haven't done so, please do that now. That way we can be sure to reach out to you. Julie, I can't believe we are Q1 of 2025 is nearly done. 3 months into the year. My goodness. What are your final thoughts?
Really kind of hard to believe.
It is, right? I
Yeah.
mean, but is there still enough time to kind of get our real estate deals accomplished, our goals that we have? I mean, maybe speak on that and kind of close us out here.
Yeah. I mean, hey, people always ask, when is a good time to do something for yourself because you believe in yourself? And it's today. It's always today, because a lot of us put things off, and we whether you go with Partner Driven or not, let me just tell you, you're worth it. So that's really, all I, have to say about that. You're worth it and you deserve success. And at some point you've got to put the time in to make those things come true. And there's never a bad time to do that. Right? I particularly love real estate investing because it allows me the freedom that I enjoy. It doesn't mean I don't work hard. But like I'm in Louisiana, I'm in Georgia. I also have a place in Perry, Florida, only because my dad retired there and goes fishing all the time. And I wanted to go see him, by the way, Curtis, if you know where Perry's at. But I want to be able to do that. I want to be able to go see my grandkids. I want to be able to go do all those things that I want. That's what real estate investing does for me. Of course, I make good money, right? And I have finer things, but you're never going to see me with Lamborghinis and all that. That just ain't me. I enjoy my time being back to my time. And you can always make more money, but we can never have more time back. And I'm telling you, now is the time for you.
Love it. Love it. Thanks, Julie. Appreciate your time as always. Again, click the link. Like Julie said, now is the time. Love to speak with y'all and really see if there's a fit here. With that being said, have a great night. Julie, thanks again so much.
Oh,
Everyone
no,
else,
thank you guys. It was nice to meet everybody. Bye-bye.
have a good night. Thanks, y'all.